Hi, I'm Collin Smith, and I'm going to give you my testimony about how I came to know Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. Well, first off, I have a pretty normal story when it comes to being raised in the church, and it's just, I think the church is a dangerous place to grow up in, because you just feel like you go through the motions, and for the longest time, I just really thought that I could go to heaven on my parents' curtail. My parents are just beautiful Christians, and I just thought well, my mom's a Christian, my dad's a Christian, therefore I'm a Christian. I just assumed it for the longest time, and I never really tested the faith. I just almost was just assumed, and I just showed up at church Sunday night, Sunday morning, Wednesday evening, and it's where you were supposed to be. It just felt like. And then all of middle school, I walked through the motions. Youth camp, youth ministry was great. It was wonderful. We had fun, but it wasn't there was no depth, and everything bypassed my heart. It just felt like. And then throughout high school, that's when things really took the turn for the worse. You could say I fell straight into temptation first week of high school. Peer pressure it's really it's out there, and it's real, because the first week of high school I smoked, and I never looked back. That defined me from the moment I became a high schooler for about 5 years. I smoked weed my first week of high school and never looked back. It never became anything else. It wasn't I dabbled in other things, but it was always the marijuana, throughout high school at least. And it was a thing that I really hid. I tried hiding from my parents, and I did for a long time, but eventually my parents caught on toward when I was an upperclassman, and they would slap my hands, and I would continue to go back to it, and I never really turned it over to the Lord, because I didn't know Him as my Savior. I was lost. I was in darkness, and then I somehow, at the end of my high school career, I got decent at golf and got a scholarship to go to Siena Heights, and I moved away, and I started separating myself from the church, because if you're not in the home anymore, there's no reason for you to go to church. So I moved on to Siena's campus, and I continued to smoke. I drank here and there, but I was never an alcoholic per se. I was just a pothead still. And right before my second semester, I actually was smoking in the dorms, foolishly enough, and was actually caught on campus and placed on probation, and that was the first time in almost 5 years I hadn't smoked for a month, and I just was looking. I went through an identity crisis. I was like, who are you? And I ended up just doing anything and everything. I joined NA's Narcotic Anonymous, and I was just looking for something and anything, and then by the grace of God I ended up in campus ministry, and I started going to FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and just meeting with some godly men, and they actually were just discipling me, and I thought I knew the answers when they would ask questions, but it never made it. It actually started coming out of my heart now. It wasn't out of my head. And we actually opened the Bible, and it was just this beautiful thing. And I never wanted to be away from these godly friends. And I can remember almost after golf one day, just driving home and listening to the radio, and there was a guy preaching it, and he said, God's entire point is to make you entirely dependent on Him. And I never realized that what grace was, and it floored me. I was crying and just rejoicing the whole way home. It's just a beautiful thing. And even though I was on probation, so what? It didn't matter anymore. If I was on probation, I was just gonna quit smoking for the rest of my life. I was new, and I was reborn. It was beautiful, and I actually started showing up here, calling Pastor Brian. I was taking a few religious studies courses, and I was just picking his ear, and I couldn't get enough. And then I started maybe we'll switch from the business degree and we'll pursue something in ministry, which is the craziest. I couldn't believe I wanted to just devote my life to serving Christ, and I just showed him I can never leave this place now. I live here. Like, this is my home and it's my family, and it's actually spoken from my heart now. And I mean, with all of me, I would love to continue to be called into ministry in some way, shape, or form. And Christ has been so good to me, and it's just a beautiful way. He just woke me up out of, I mean, the motions. I'm not going through the motions anymore, and I'm actually running this race, and I hope I continue to do with obedience and a joyous heart. But that is my testimony about how I came to know Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and I hope that in some way, shape, or form that can encourage you. God bless.